Have you ever felt empty inside? Have you ever felt like you just wanted something to happen, anything, so that you could feel alive again? You just felt that emptiness. Uh, the author, the famous writer Fyodor Dostoevsky felt that way. As a young man, he felt that way. He was a hypochondriac. He was depressed. He was a self-pitier. He felt this emptiness in his soul. And as a result, he joined a political discussion group, and that gave him some stimulation. But then he was arrested as part of this group. He was arrested by the Tsar's police forces and charged with treason. So now things were getting more exciting. He was charged with treason and sentenced to death by firing squad. Okay, so now he was put in prison to await death. Now this had a transforming effect on Dostoevsky. So, going through the process of believing he was going to die changed his outlook on life. He woke up knowing that he was going to die. This was on December 22nd, 1849. He woke up knowing he was going to die. Death awaited him at about any time. The police would be coming soon. So he's sitting there in his cell, He enjoyed his last meal. He savored every bite and every breath. He didn't take breathing for granted. Breathing was an amazing miracle that he could fill his lungs with air and just enjoy taking a deep breath. Every face he encountered, he treasured the vision of it. It didn't matter if it was a guard passing by or another scoundrel in the prison. He treasured to see every face like a piece of artwork. Every experience, every moment was stored in his imagination as something wondrous and special. And he was living life at a higher plane than he'd ever lived before. And it was special for him. Now, as they marched him to the courtyard, they marched him out into the outside, and the sun hit him. And there's not a lot of sun in Siberia. And it was amazing. He appreciated the sun like he'd never appreciated it in his whole life. It was just a wonderful, wonderful thing. And the sights and sounds, whether it was the chinking of chains, or footsteps in the mud, the voices of other prisoners, the sights, the sounds, the smells, everything was amazing, and he appreciated. He was thankful for every little sensation, because let's face it, these were the last sensations he was going to ever get. And so he was so thankful for all this. He was fully alive at that time as he was marched toward the firing squad. Never had he been more alive in his life. So he was put up against the wall, blindfolded, and then he heard, "Take aim!" And then the dreaded order, "Fire!" Boom! Boom! The whole line of assassins pulled the trigger. The shots were heard. The reports froze his blood. And then nothing happened. He wasn't hit. He was not. Then he realized he'd been tricked, that he wasn't going to be shot after all. So as it turned out, this was an old trick that the Tsar used to play. He'd do this to political rebels, in order to mess with them. And so Dostoevsky was given a reprieve at the last second. He was not going to have to die after all. Instead, he was sent to Siberia. Now, he was thankful at this point to go to Siberia, thankful for it. He was thankful for everything about his life. He was thankful for the people who had hated him and who he had hated. Now he was thankful for them. He was thankful for the guards who treated him with disrespect. Everything he was thankful for. Now, he did his time in prison, and he did some time in the military. And when he came back later on in life, about 9 years later, he took care of his emptiness in a different way. That inner emptiness, now he filled up with the Russian Orthodox faith. Now, just for a moment, imagine yourself in Dostoevsky's position, waiting in a prison cell for the firing line. Imagine that you're in that position. Just imagine that for a second. Imagine you're sitting there, probably waiting to hear the clang of a cage door opening up as they come down to get you. So you're definitely hearing any footsteps. Those footsteps could be the executioners coming to get you. But at the same time, you're probably reflecting a little bit on your life. What are you thinking? How do you feel about the way you have lived? Are you happy with the life you've lived? Why or why not? Have you done what you needed to do? Are you ready to die today in minutes or maybe hours? Are you ready? Why or why not? Now imagine that just like Dostoevsky, you're reprieved at the last minute. How would that make you feel? How will your life be different tomorrow as a result of that reprieval, of being reprieved? Thanks for watching. It's Roger Weston. Fight on.